Right now, somewhere between Tokyo and California, more than $100 billion is betting everything on one battery, solid state. The battery that supposedly never catches fire, never wears down, and never needs a drop of dangerous liquid inside it. But 300 miles from Austin, inside Gigafactory, Texas, a completely different battery is already rolling off the production line at full speed. And it might make that entire $100 billion race irrelevant before a single solid-state car ever reaches your driveway. This is not a rumor, and it is not a leak. What you are about to see is an engineering model built directly from Tesla's own manufacturing data and its 2026 patent filings, checked twice before it ever reached this script. In the next few minutes, we will break it into 3 parts. First, the 70-meter drying oven nightmare that has quietly been draining every battery factory on Earth. Second, the scaling trap that could keep solid-state batteries locked inside million-dollar hypercars forever. And third, the exact math behind a $25,000 electric car. Because for 30 years, every battery plant on this planet has depended on a single process. And that process has a fatal flaw hiding in plain sight. Before we go further, understand why this matters to you personally, not just to some factory in Texas. Every dollar wasted on that old process gets added straight onto the sticker price of the car sitting in your driveway or the one you are still saving up for. It shows up in your monthly loan payment. It shows up in the trade-in value of the car you already own. This is not an abstract engineering story. This is the difference between an electric car your family can actually afford and one that stays permanently out of reach, no matter how many incentives get thrown at it. Here is how a battery electrode has always been built. Metal powder gets mixed into a liquid using a solvent called NMP, a chemical so hazardous it requires special permits just to store on site. That wet slurry is coated onto a thin sheet of metal foil, and then it has to dry not in a household oven, but in a drying tunnel roughly the length of an entire football field. About 100 meters of continuous heat running around the clock just to boil away a liquid that was never meant to end up inside the finished battery in the first place. Picture that for a second. An entire football field of industrial ovens burning energy non-stop, doing nothing but removing a chemical that should never have been added. Nearly every major battery maker on Earth, from CATL to Panasonic to LG, still runs this exact same wasteful process today. And here's the number that should worry every battery executive alive. That single drying oven can burn through 70% of an entire gigafactory's energy bill. Not the robots, not the lighting, not the assembly line. The oven alone quietly consumes 70 cents of every energy dollar spent, making the battery under your car's floor. Stay with us because the cost does not stop at electricity. NMP is not only expensive, it is genuinely hazardous. That is exactly why regulators in the United States and Europe have restricted its use around workers because of reproductive health concerns. That alone should tell you this was never a sustainable long-term solution. It was simply a workaround the industry tolerated because nobody had built a real alternative yet. NMP is not only expensive to evaporate, it is expensive to recover. Environmental regulations in nearly every country require manufacturers to capture that solvent vapor before it escapes into the atmosphere. Building that recovery system alone can cost tens of millions of dollars. Even after all of that spending, the wet process still runs into a hard physical limit. You cannot make the electrode much thicker because a thicker wet layer simply cracks apart the moment it dries. Thinner electrodes mean less energy packed into every single cell you buy, which means shorter driving range for every car built using that old process for the past 30 years. This has been the invisible tax every electric car owner has quietly paid without even realizing it existed. So what happens the moment you remove the liquid altogether? This is exactly where Tesla's dry electrode process rewrites the entire equation. And it did not appear out of nowhere. Tesla built this advantage back in 2019 when it quietly acquired a small company called Maxwell Technologies, along with a portfolio of dry electrode patents. Almost nobody outside the battery industry noticed at the time. While competitors were still optimizing the old wet process inch by inch, Tesla was buying its way out of the problem entirely. Years of patient engineering later, that quiet acquisition is what is rolling through Gigafactory, Texas today. There is no liquid in this process, none at all. Instead, dry active powder is blended directly with a binding agent called PTFE, the same family of materials used in non-stick cookware, except here it is stretched into microscopic fibers that hold the powder together like an invisible web. That dry powder is then fed between rollers under enormous pressure, known as calendaring rolls, and compressed into a thin, self-supporting film. No solvent, no wet post, no waiting around for anything to dry, and no 100-meter oven consuming the factory's power supply. Take that oven out of the equation entirely, and the whole math of battery manufacturing changes overnight. According to Tesla's own manufacturing model, removing that oven does not just save a little floor space, it shrinks the entire coating line's physical footprint by roughly 10 times. And it reduces the energy required for that stage by nearly 70%. Now, scale that up to a full 1 terawatt-hour of battery production per year, which is Tesla's long-term target. The model points to something close to 10.5 terawatt-hours of electricity saved annually. That is roughly enough electricity to power 1 million American homes for an entire year, simply by eliminating one drying step from the manufacturing process. Let that number sink in for a moment, because it is not a rounding error. It is an entire year of electricity for 1 million households, saved simply by refusing to use a liquid that was never necessary in the first place. No lobbying, no subsidies, no new power plants required. Just one wasteful manufacturing step removed from the process entirely. But the advantage here is not only about electricity. Because there is no wet paste left to crack apart, the dry electrode can be built noticeably thicker, which means more usable energy can be packed into the exact same cell size. And in practical terms, that translates into extra driving range using the exact same battery pack. This improvement pairs directly with Tesla's 4,680 cell design, which already improves how heat and electrical current move through the battery. So, a thicker dry-coated electrode fits naturally into a structure that was already built to handle it. And because there is no leftover solvent trapped inside the finished battery, one of the hidden triggers behind thermal runaway, the chain reaction that can lead to battery fires, is largely designed out of the cell from the very beginning. This is confirmed technical data pulled directly from Tesla's public patent filings, not a marketing presentation. So, if dry electrode manufacturing really is this good, why is almost every headline in the industry still obsessed with solid-state batteries instead? On paper, solid-state batteries genuinely sound like the perfect solution. Replace the liquid electrolyte with a solid one, and you get a battery with higher theoretical energy density, plus almost no risk of dendrites, those tiny metal spikes that grow inside a battery over time and eventually short-circuit it. It sounds like the end of the story. The final upgrade, nobody could argue with. Except it is not. The solid separator inside these batteries is usually made of ceramic, and ceramic, by its very nature, is brittle.
The Model 2's impact will not be limited to the United States. Tesla's global ambitions mean that the car will likely be available in key markets around the world. In Europe, where EV adoption is already on the rise thanks to strong regulatory support and consumer incentives, the Model 2 could further accelerate this trend. The car's affordability will make it an attractive option for European consumers looking to make the switch to electric. In China, the world's largest automotive market, the Model 2 could be a game changer. Tesla already has a strong presence in China,